What's going on, guys? Dylan591 here, and today we are back with another video, and in this video we're installing an M.2 into my PlayStation. Let's get into it. So if you want to check this out, I'm going to go ahead and post the link down below. I know a lot of you guys have already seen this. You guys have probably already checked this out. Sony also has a guide on how to install the M.2 as well, but I'm going to show you guys my way and my things on installing it. But first off, we need to know a few things about this M.2 before we do get an M.2, because you do not have to get the same M.2 as me, but this is what Sony is recommending. And the reason you are wanting to add an M.2 is to expand your storage so that you can download more games, not only PS4 games but PS5 games at most, because PS5 games can only be downloaded on high-speed storage on the new console. So in order to reach these high speeds, you need what's called a PCIe Gen 4 M.2, and it has to reach a minimum spec of 500 or 5,000 megabytes a second or more. Now you can get away with doing under that, but it has to be a Gen 4, and I don't recommend going out and getting something that's slower than that. I mean, it will work. You can get it to work if it is a Gen 4, but I recommend going out and getting a new Gen 4 with a speed of 5,000 megabytes or more. And like I said, I could put the link down below for you guys to check this out for yourselves if you have not seen it yet. But this is what Sony recommends. They recommend the PCI Gen 4. You can have 250 gigabytes to a 4 terabyte on that, and it has to be the size of a 2230, a 2242, a 2260, a 2280, or a 22110 sized M.2. That is all that will fit. Now, if your M.2 does not have a heatsink on it, you will have to go out and get a heatsink, but I'm going to show you the M.2 that I have ordered, and I already have it here, and I will be showing it to you guys, and I will be installing it in this video, so you guys are going to want to stick around. But like I said, it has to be 5,500 megabytes a second. My bad. 5,500 megabytes a second or faster is recommended. So if it is a PCI Gen 4 and it does have a slower speed than 5,500 megabytes a second, you can use it, but they are recommending that it needs to be a speed faster than this. And then it has the socket, the key M, the socket 3. So that's the socket type. It's gonna take any M.2. So you are going to want to have a heatsink with this, and the M.2 that I have got it's got its heatsink on it and everything, and we'll be breaking that down here in a second and opening it up and showing it with you guys, putting it into the console and showing you how you will set it up right on the console and everything, so you guys know how to transfer your stuff and what to save and what you can download to this M.2, because there are some requirements that you do have to abide by when using an M.2, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So that's enough talking. Let's go ahead and break into my new M.2 and check that out and drop it into the PlayStation and show you guys how to set everything up. But I do want to let you guys know that I do recommend you saving just your PS5 games to this high-speed expanded storage. Save that high speed and your internal storage for your PS5 games, and then I recommend going out and getting like a 1 terabyte or a 2 terabyte or whatever size you might need for your PS4 games, and installing that, which is super easy to hook up, and you just plug it in and download your games. I recommend using that for your PS4 games so you can save your high-speed storage for your PS5 games, because you're going to need that storage, because your PS5 games can't be downloaded onto an external drive. Can only be downloaded to the M.2 or your internal storage. So here we have the WD Black SN850 NVMe SSD. This is the game drive plus heatsink, so it already has the heatsink installed on it. And the reason why I got this one is because I've been watching a lot of videos on it, and this one seems to have a lot of well, not a very substantial amount, but there is an amount of heat dissipation that this does that gets a lower and cooler temp than a lot of other game drives out there, even with ones that you're putting your own heat sink on. Now you can go out and get the WD Black, and it's actually cheaper to get it without a heat sink and buy a heat sink. But this is the one that comes with the heatsink, and this is the 500 gigabyte model. Now, I didn't want to go full blown and go get a 2 terabyte or a 1 terabyte or 4 terabyte because there's not many of these out there right now. So as the years go by, we're going to see a lot more brands and a lot more styles of the Gen 4, and we'll start to see more that will be more compatible with the PlayStation 5. So let's go ahead and open this up. This has a, by the way, up to 7,000 megabytes a second read speed. So that is crazy. So let's go ahead and pop this off. I already cut the tape on it. I have not opened this yet, so let's go ahead and slide this out. Now, make sure you are free from any static electricity. Make sure you have grounded yourself before touching any electronics. Welcome to WD Black. There's some instructions. Let's go ahead and pop this puppy out. So this is what it looks like. It's already got the pre-installed heat sink and everything. So, and like I said, this is the 500 gigabyte model. You can see the thermal pads in there. Looks like it's going to be pretty good as far as airflow, because the way the PlayStation 5 works is you have to keep the plate for the M.2, so do not take and leave that plate off that we are going to be taking off to install this. Make sure when you go to install this that you do put that plate on afterwards. Even if the heatsink don't fit, make sure you are getting something that is going to fit so that you can put that plate back on, because what is happening is there is there's holes underneath of the M.2 where it's going to be sitting, and it is basically, with the fan, the way they have it set up, it's going to be sucking air from underneath here. So it's going to be pulling air from the top to the bottom of this M.2. So it's going to be, it's crazy how they architect that. But yeah, let's go ahead and throw this on into the PlayStation. And then you're going to go up to the top corner and you're going to give it a pull back as you're lifting this up. And you don't have to jerk it or anything. It will simply just pop up and pull off. We're gonna go ahead and pop this cover off, and then we'll show you guys what we got going on underneath this cover. Once you have that cover off, you'll find this slot right here, this cover right here, and under here is the M.2 slot, which you're going to be installing your SSD. I know a lot of you guys already know how to do this installation. I am just showing you guys again how to install it. And we're going to show you guys exactly what the PS5 does when we put this SSD inside and how to format it. What you will need is a screwdriver. Go ahead and take this cover off. And by the way, you do want to be free from any static electricity, so you do want to touch some sort of metal or ground yourself before doing this installation. So now we can go ahead and take our M.2, and how you're going to do it, you're going to kind of come in here at an angle. Make sure that you are plugging it in directly into the port, flushly at this angle. Push till you kind of hear it set in, set it down, and put your screw in. It's a very easy process. Now you don't want to crank this tight. You just want to make sure it's snug and it's not going anywhere. There you have it. There's the M.2 installed. Let's go ahead and put the plate back on. You do not want to leave this plate off. You want to make sure this plate is always on. Like I said, there is a suction type system they got going on in there. So you do want to make sure that this plate is on so that your M.2 does not overheat. So yeah, let's get the plate on and load it up. Use your M.2 SSD storage, you will need to format it. When you format your M.2 SSD, all data on it will be deleted. If you want to continue using your PS5 without formatting your M.2, turn off your PS5 and remove the M.2 SSD. Note, saved games, screenshots, and video clips cannot be saved to this M.2 SSD storage. So like I was saying earlier, I was going to let you guys know what you can and cannot add to your M.2 storage. So it sucks you can't add video clips, screenshots, or save any data to the M.2. All that's going to have to be saved on your internal storage. So keep that in mind. You will not be able to save any of that type of data if that's what you're looking to use it for. But it's specifically a game drive. That's what Sony has made it for. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and slide over to format. We're going to go ahead and format this and see what it does here, boys. So it's going to go ahead and format it now. Okay, so it says the read speed of your M.2 SSD is as follows. If you experience problems while playing a game installed on the M.2 SSD storage, try installing it on console storage. So it is letting you know that some games might run wonky on this M.2 SSD. So it's letting you know, hey, if a game's running kind of weird, throw it on your console storage. That's where you're going to have to run it. So most games, pretty much all games, are going to run flawlessly on this M.2 SSD. It's going to be like running it on the console storage. It's just basically going to be giving us more memory so we can install our PS5 games. Your M.2 SSD has been formatted. To change where your games are installed, go to Settings, Storage, Install Location to safely remove your M.2 SSD storage. Turn off your PS5 first. It should be fairly quick. Now granted, this is 15 gigabyte game, strictly moving it over to my M.2 SSD. This is not directly downloading it. This is just transferring the file from my console storage over to my M.2 SSD.
The objective. Taking Alpha. A lockdown. Enemy took Charlie. Enemy spy down. Strike incoming. Multiple enemy spy plane contacts. Cruise missile inbound. Hostile attack helicopter inbound. Enemy counter spy plane inbound. Hydra, napalm strike inbound. Enemy care package inbound.
Take out that attack chopper.
Enemy, Bravo. Hostile spy plane established overhead. Enemy cruise missile launch detected.
Securing Charlie. Closing with Able. Capturing Able. They're taking Baker. We're dug in at Charlie. The lead's ours! Securing Able. Damn it, a pin! Sweet revenge! Losing objective Baker. Able is ours. Baker is overrun. Securing Baker. Losing objective Charlie. Losing objective Able. Charlie is lost. taking Baker. They're overpowering us. Take those positions.